I was reborn. It was just the 5th year of marriage. It was when Adrian said he had lost his memory. I only remember loving your sister Daphne very much. He covered his head, looking in pain. My son also held my hand. Mom, don't blame Dad. He just wants to take care of Aunt. Aunt is such a good person. Mom can't bear to see her alone, right? As in the previous life, the system popped up. Host, it's okay if he loses his memory. You succeeded last time. You can do it this time too. Just conquer the affectionate male second lead and son again. I lit a lady's cigarette indifferently, turned over the family photo of 3, and looked at the photo of the villainous and sickly beauty in my phone. System, I remember that I can change the target of conquest, right? Ah? The system was stunned. You had a chance to change the target of conquest before but you never used it. But why change it? Adrian just lost his memory? And you and him already have a son. What will happen to your son Leo if you change the target of conquest now? No way. No way. I don't agree. Heh. Lost memory. In my previous life, I believed Adrian's lies and tried every means to make him regain his memory and fall in love with me again. However, I witnessed his relationship with Daphne growing deeper and deeper. Sorry, maybe we really had many beautiful memories, but now I don't remember anything. There is only Daphne in my heart. No matter how hard I tried, he only had apologies for a stranger towards me. He even wanted to negotiate a divorce with me. And our son Leo is just a young version of Adrian. When I was in great pain because I couldn't find Adrian's memory and when I insisted on saving this marriage, he firmly stood by his father's side. Mom, you always ask me to be helpful. Why are you angry when Dad helps Aunt? You are so selfish and annoying like this. Even my parents came to persuade me. Why are you doing this? Adrian's loved one is now your sister. He can't remember you. Why do you insist on not divorcing? Anyway, Leo also likes your sister. Even if you and Adrian divorce, we are still a family. Later, they began to accuse me, your sister is divorced. How pitiful. Why don't you feel sorry for her at all? She and Adrian are in love now. Just because you don't divorce, she has to bear the reputation of being a mistress. She is your sister. How can you be so selfish? Later, because of long-term depression, I got sick. When I went to the hospital to see a doctor, I saw Adrian supporting Daphne. Daphne leaned in his arms and sobbed. Adrian, can you just tell Evelyn that you faked losing your memory? He was silent for a moment. After all, we have been married for years. I'm afraid it will hurt her too much if I do that. But she has been dragging and refusing to divorce. My stomach is getting big. How can I see people? How can the child see people after it is born? Daphne cried. It turned out that Adrian had never lost his memory. The so-called loss of memory was just an excuse for his affair with Daphne. But I was like a fool, thinking that he loved me and still trying to make him regain the so-called memory. That day, I returned to the empty home alone and had a high fever at night. I called Adrian, Leo and my parents, but no one answered. They were all celebrating Daphne's birthday. The festive photos in the group came one after another. I raised my hand and sent a few words to the group, I'm going to die. The group suddenly became quiet. At this moment, Daphne's call came. Evelyn, did you deliberately not come to your sister's birthday party? Do you hate your sister so much? Her voice was choked with sobs. If you don't come, then don't come. She's being so conceited. My father's voice came from the receiver. Still saying you're going to die. Who are you deliberately disgusting? My mother chimed in. Auntie, don't worry about my mom. It's midnight. Come and blow out the candles. Leo's voice came from the receiver. Immediately, there was laughter and joy on the other end of the phone. And when the phone slowly slipped from my hand, I heard a mechanical voice. The host's side story conquest failed. The final ending conquest failed. But because the marriage achievement was achieved in the middle and the effective points were exchanged, there is a chance to be reborn with the original system. Next, it will automatically start. 4, 3, 2. So, this is a side story. Only then did I understand. No wonder when I got married, when I told the system that I was willing to stay, it didn't say much. It turns out that I had never succeeded in conquering. I had never escaped the bondage of the plot. In the side story, the female lead divorced the original male lead and finally ended up with the affectionate male second lead who was still in love with her even after marriage. And I am just the villainous supporting role in the side story. I am a stumbling block on their emotional journey and a catalyst for their love. I am a person who no one will care about even if I die. Just at this moment, Adrian and Leo came back. As soon as he saw me, Leo hurriedly stood in front of his dad. Mom, don't pull Dad and talk about those past things today. He is so tired. Yes, he is indeed very tired. Daphne's divorce was officially successful today. He took Leo to help her move. Thinking of this, I suddenly laughed. Adrian frowned slightly. Evelyn, what are you laughing at? His gaze rested on the cigarette in my hand. After all, in the past, I never smoked. Do you know, Adrian? I crossed my legs and blew out a smoke ring leisurely. In the past, when I read novels, I liked the affectionate male second lead the most. Now when I think about it, what affectionate male second lead? It's just a dog. I pointed at him and then at Leo. I just didn't expect that the son born by a dog is still a dog. This thing is actually inherited. What dog? Leo was stunned. Mom, what are you talking about? How can you call your own son a dog? Evelyn, don't do this on purpose just because I helped Daphne today, Adrian said impatiently. Why are you even jealous of your own sister? Moreover, accompanying you to find memories every day, I also want to rest for a day. No need. I said. What? I pressed the cigarette into the water and handed him the divorce agreement on the table. I figured it out. If the memories are gone, then they are gone. It's no big deal. I have already drafted the divorce agreement. I have also found my next partner recently. Let's fulfill each other. Let's get divorced, what did you say? Adrian was stunned. Host. Host, calm down, host. Elias, that sickly villain, you can't handle him. He is a big villain. You can't change the target of conquest. Yes, I just want to find a big villain. I smiled at the system. Otherwise, who will help me, this villainous supporting role, to overthrow the Adrian family and the Evelyn family? You said? Adrian couldn't believe it. You have an ex-partner? He stared at me blankly and blurted out. How is that possible? Yes, in Adrian's view, this is of course impossible. Adrian is Daphne's dog. Then in the past, I was Adrian's dog, wasn't I? I centered everything on him. I accompanied him when he was frustrated. I took care of him when he was uncomfortable. Even to make him feel better when he had a fever, I didn't sleep for several days and nights to change ice packs for him. Evelyn, can you stop making trouble? Adrian put the divorce agreement on the table with a sullen face. I told you. I have lost my memory now. You pretend to divorce and make up some next partner. Whether you want to make me jealous or feel jealous, there is not a single bit of. The Adrian family was made bigger by us after marriage. I want the equity. I don't want the child. I walked to the door expressionlessly. As long as you sign, we will go to the Civil Affairs Bureau immediately. He was stunned again. What does divorce mean? Is Aunt going to be my mom? Leo asked blankly. I ignored the father and son and opened the door and walked out. No, host. What on earth are you doing? Adrian just lost his memory. He has feelings for you. You are hurting him so much. The system chattered in my ear. Tongzi, do you think I should put on some makeup before going to the Elias family? Ah? Where are you going? No way. You must not go to the sickly villain. You will regret it so much. I silenced the system with points. Too noisy. I went to buy a new set of clothes and put them on. Then I went to the makeup room and put on a beautiful makeup. Madam is so beautiful today. Are you going to have some special commemoration with Sir? The makeup artist knew me and asked sweetly. Well, I'm preparing to cheat. I touched my self-designed pearl earrings with satisfaction. Hee hee. Madam is really joking. After thinking about it, I didn't drive my own car but took a taxi to the Elias family building. Who are you looking for? Do you have an appointment? The front desk asked when seeing me. Please tell the general manager of Elias, I smiled. Evelyn of the Adrian family is here to give him a big gift. President's office of the Elias family. The general manager of Elias has a really big office. It's just a bit empty. I sat on the sofa and looked around. Mrs. Adrian, my time is quite precious. Elias sat behind the desk, with his legs crossed and a gloomy expression. I know. Aren't you just busy competing with the Adrian family? I smiled. If I say that I am willing to defect to General Manager Elias, would General Manager Elias want me? He was stunned for a moment and then suddenly laughed. I have long heard that Mrs. Adrian has deep affection for General Manager Adrian. I didn't expect that now. For the sake of the Adrian family, you can even use yourself as bait to come to the Elias family. He got up and approached. With his hands on both sides of me, his eyes were dangerous. Aren't you afraid that when you enter the enemy's den alone, you will be devoured without leaving a trace? We looked at each other for a long while in silence. I burst out laughing. I'm not afraid. Since General Manager Elias knows that I am a person who can do anything for my husband, then why not marry me? After all, you know, as a love-struck person, I can dedicate everything for my lover. Moreover, the design team in my hand is still quite good. He didn't speak. But I know that he is a little tempted. Not tempted by me, but by the resources in my hand. In fact, Elias and I are old acquaintances. The Elias family he manages is the opponent of the Adrian family and has caused Adrian a lot of trouble in business. I am also a somewhat famous designer in the original world. The Adrian family was once on the verge of bankruptcy due to Elias. The first pot of gold for its revival was the jewelry products designed by me. Over the years, the Adrian family and the Elias family have competed several times, with each having victories and defeats. And Elias is also the person Adrian hates the most. After a while, he straightened up. Mrs. Adrian is indeed somewhat attractive, but I have no interest in married women. What if I divorce Adrian? I got up, took a step closer, and looked up at him. He was slightly stunned. Oh, then it's a different matter. He smiled. However, Mrs. Adrian, you should know that I can't tolerate traitors. He reached out and lifted my chin. In my opinion, marriage is indeed an effective contract. But if Mrs. Adrian wants to marry me, she still needs to show some sincerity. The shares of the Adrian family and my design team. I will bring them and remarry you. I smiled. Can General Manager Elias handle it? Elias agreed to my conditions. After that, I simply moved out of home and made various preparations for life after divorce in advance. Adrian and Leo didn't look for me. Probably they were having a great time with Daphne. One day, I went back to get a design drawing that I had forgotten. As a result, as soon as I opened the door, I found it extremely lively. Leo was wiping tears aggrievedly in Daphne's arms. My parents were full of anger, and Adrian also had a sullen face. How dare you come back? I don't know where you've been fooling around. As soon as my mother saw me, she scolded me harshly. You don't care about your child or your husband. How could I have taught such a daughter like you? If it weren't for Daphne who has been helping to take care of Leo recently, we wouldn't know that Leo was bullied like that in kindergarten. How can you be such a mother? How can you be so partial? I frowned. Daphne immediately came up and said softly, Evelyn, it's not that sister is criticizing you. When Leo was bullied by other children in kindergarten, how could you let him apologize first? How much psychological shadow will this leave on him? Why can't he apologize first if he is wrong? He called others poor ghosts and called others' parents useless first. That child got angry and started a fight. And Leo didn't suffer a loss. In the end, he broke that child's nasal bone. I said. How could he not have suffered a loss? Daphne's voice was still gentle. I picked him up these days and he has been in a bad mood. But it doesn't matter. I have given money to that family. Immediately they made their child apologize to Leo. What? I was stunned. Don't you think this is too unfair to that child? He is clearly the victim. His parents took the money and he has to apologize. He should apologize to me. Mom, you are so partial. Bad guy. You are not my mom. I want a new mom. Leo rushed up to hit me and was held back by Daphne. You see, the child is heartbroken. Daphne squatted down and wiped the 2 tears squeezed out by Leo. I was speechless. Do you really think this kind of education is good for him? Stop talking. We all agree with Daphne's approach. My father came over and said in a deep voice, you didn't grow up by our side when you were a child. It was our negligence in disciplining you that made you become such an irresponsible wife and mother. If you can't educate the child, give the child to Daphne. I think Daphne is much more competent than you. I was really angry and amused. Can't wait, right? I faced Adrian. What about you? Do you also agree with what they did? This matter is over. He stood up. Don't keep harping on it. Hurry up and cook. Dad is busy outside every day. How can you have the nerve to be away from home every day? We are all starving. Leo shouted again. Forget it. I took a long breath. Adrian, have you signed the divorce agreement? Agreement? What agreement? Daphne didn't seem to know about this yet. But as soon as her eyes rolled, she immediately ran to the table and picked up the divorce agreement. Evelyn, you want a divorce? And you actually want shares in the Adrian family? She stared at me with her watery eyes. Don't you think it's too excessive? How can you be so greedy? Excessive? Greedy? I looked at her. When Adrian and I got married, the Adrian family was almost bankrupt. It was the jewelry I designed that brought the Adrian family back to life. I also formed the current design team. Why can't I deserve these shares? But after you gave birth to Leo, you withdrew from company management. The Adrian family's current achievements are all earned by Adrian bit by bit through hard work. How can you shamelessly say it's your credit? Not being at home and making a divorce and asking for money from the husband's family. It's really a disgrace to our family to have a daughter like you. My father scolded angrily. You didn't see my efforts over the years. Why do you say I don't deserve it? How come I didn't manage the company? As a designer, I accompanied Adrian to drink at various business dinners. He drinks and I drink. I drink no less than him. I couldn't help but shout angrily. Enough. Adrian suddenly shouted loudly. Everyone was quiet. Evelyn, 30% is indeed too much, he said calmly. I really can't agree. I suddenly laughed. You are really disgusting. I turned around, found the design draft, slammed the door, and left. I really don't want to see any of the people in that room ever again. It was raining outside and I didn't have an umbrella. You see, I told you not to make trouble. How can you clean up this mess now? It will be difficult for Adrian to forgive you again. The system kept talking. Be quiet for a while. I found an open space and squatted down. The rain flowed down my hair. I hugged my knees and felt extremely cold. Although this is a world of conquest, I have treated everyone in this world sincerely and regarded them as family members wholeheartedly. Although I already knew that I had fallen in love with a scumbag, at this moment, I still feel sorry for myself. I feel sorry for those years I spent in the past. It seems that Mrs. Adrian's divorce path is not very smooth. Suddenly an umbrella appeared above my head. I looked up and it was actually Elias. He held an umbrella like this and looked down at me. Sorry, I can't get the shares, I gave a self-deprecating smile. Regarding what I said before, General Manager Elias should just forget it. He was silent for a moment and then suddenly squatted down. In fact, I seem to be getting a little interested in you, Evelyn. Want to try a different way? Huh? I don't want those shares anymore. He took out a tissue and helped me wipe the rain on my hair. You marry me? Let's bankrupt the Adrian family together. Host, don't be impulsive. Wait. Wait. Slap. The door of the president's office of the Adrian family was pushed open by me. Divorce. I slapped the new divorce agreement in front of Adrian. He frowned. I don't want shares. I leave with nothing. Can you sign it now? What's wrong with you again? He pinched his forehead. I told you. I have found my next partner. I am in a hurry to get married. So we have to divorce immediately. He suddenly laughed and slowly took out a stack of papers from the drawer. Evelyn, your dashcam shows that you haven't been at home these days. You just went to the apartment where you lived before marriage. Your movement trajectory is very simple. So simple that, it's like there is nowhere else to go. He closed the paper and his gaze was firm. You don't have a next partner at all. You make a fuss. It's just that you want to attract my attention by divorcing. I suddenly understood how helpless the person who invented the idiom, casting pearls before swine, was at that time. I sat down, lit a lady's cigarette, and called Daphne. After she got divorced, Adrian arranged for her to work in the Adrian family. Why are you calling her? Come up and chat. Sure enough, Daphne arrived quickly. Evelyn, what are you doing? Adrian is very tired from work. Last time you made everyone in the family very unhappy. This is a company. You can't act recklessly. Shut up and just listen here. I interrupted her. Adrian, I turned my head, tapped the cigarette ash, and looked at him with a smile. Now that everyone is here, tell me. Are you reluctant to part with me? What? He was stunned. Keep saying that you have forgotten me and only remember Daphne. But when I want a divorce, you are not willing. Aren't you just reluctant to part with me? In fact, you don't like Daphne that much, right? Or is the amnesia fake? In fact, you remember everything about being with me. That's why you are not willing to sign and divorce, right? I looked at Daphne. What should we do? I didn't know he loved me so much. Shut up. Adrian suddenly interrupted me. Adrian? Daphne's watery eyes immediately looked at him. His face was extremely ugly. After a while, he clenched his fist and spoke. Evelyn, I originally felt sorry for you. Thinking that we were husband and wife and you had nowhere to go, that's why I didn't want to sign. I haven't remembered you and I don't have any lingering feelings for you. To me, you are just a stranger. You really want a divorce so much? Fine, I'll grant you your wish. He waved his hand and signed his name on the agreement in a fit of pique. But don't you regret it? Because I was afraid that Adrian would go back on his word. After he signed, I took him to the Civil Affairs Bureau. We'll get the divorce certificate in a month. Don't be late. He gave me a cold look and left. What is he so angry about? Wasn't it him who wanted a divorce in every possible way in the previous life? Looking at his back, I was extremely speechless. What previous life? The system asked in confusion. Oh, I forgot. This system doesn't have the memory of the previous life. A few days later, Elias called me and asked me to go to a place. I went there and it turned out to be a bridal shop. Hello, Miss Evelyn. General Manager Elias specifically instructed that you can try on whichever one you like and we will help you. When Adrian and I got married, because Adrian liked it and to make him happy, I wore a long trailing wedding dress. But in fact, I personally prefer fishtail skirts. This time, I plan to make myself happy. I tried on wedding dresses in the bridal shop all afternoon, took a few photos and sent them to Elias. Like fishtail skirts? He replied quickly. It suits you very well. At this moment, the phone suddenly rang. I thought it was Elias and answered it without thinking. Leo has a fever. Come back quickly now. It was Adrian's voice. I took a deep breath and forced myself to be calm. We are divorced. Leo belongs to you. You are his father. Can't you take care of him? Evelyn, a mother and child are connected. The child is in so much pain. How can you say such cold words? It was Daphne. She is here. That's easy. I can't go, I patiently said. Sister, don't you like Leo the most? Then I tell you that when he is sick, he needs you to hold him all the time, sing lullabies to him all night like a baby, and you need to take his temperature every half an hour. By the way, it is very difficult for him to take medicine. He will deliberately spit everywhere. But it doesn't matter. You just make the medicine a few more times and take a bath a few more times. I don't have any experience. What are you telling me this for? You are his mother. Of course you should come back and take care of him. Leo, don't spit on Aunt Daphne. I lowered my voice. What do you think raising a child is? Is it that you, who are glamorous, secretly give him candy, spoil him, pamper him, and listen to him sweetly say that he likes you? No. Raising a child means not sleeping well all night, taking care of him over and over again, constantly repeating, being so busy that there is no time to go to the toilet, eat, or even sleep. You are willing to be Leo's mother. Then you have to do all these things. Evelyn, the child is so uncomfortable and keeps crying and calling for mom. Do you have to care about these little things here? Adrian's voice was full of anger. I said I am busy. What on earth are you busy with? Miss Evelyn, for the wedding dress, the waist still needs to be made thinner, right? The clerk came over and asked me with a smile. The phone suddenly became quiet. What are you doing? Adrian's voice seemed to be filled with deep disbelief. I told him word by word. I am trying on wedding dresses. In the following days, Adrian didn't call me again. While preparing for the wedding with Elias, we discussed the next design and marketing plan for the jewelry of the Elias family. Returning to the workplace made me very excited. Because new ideas always popped up in my mind, I often talked with Elias until midnight. A month later, Adrian and I made an appointment to get the divorce certificate. You really have an ex-partner? At the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau, he stared at me and asked. Yes. Betraying marriage. Don't you feel guilty towards me? He suddenly said. I couldn't help but laugh. No. After all, you don't remember anything. You only remember Daphne. I shrugged. Anyway, you have forgotten. Only I remember. It's not interesting. It's better for both of us to change people. In fact, Adrian. Daphne, wearing a small floral dress, trotted over and affectionately held Adrian's arm. Are you done? Leo and I are still waiting for you to come home for dinner. Not yet. Hurry up. I took the lead and walked into the Civil Affairs Bureau. Two people, have you thought it through? The staff asked. Yes. I said. But Adrian didn't speak. Sir? Evelyn. He suddenly turned around. Have you really thought it through? After getting the certificate, we two will have nothing to do with each other anymore. I sighed. Adrian, can you stop being so indecisive? Daphne is still waiting for you outside, big brother. I just want to know, he still said his own words. You said divorce and you divorced. For you, is 5 years of marriage really so worthless? We even have a child. Are Leo and I so unworthy of your nostalgia? I quietly looked at this man who I had loved for many years. In the previous life, I didn't want to divorce. He thought I was pestering. In this life, I took the initiative to divorce. He thought I could let go so easily. They took all the reasons as the protagonists, right? No. The past 5 years are very precious to me. He suddenly raised his head, and there seemed to be a flash of light in his eyes. After all, I used 5 years to understand a truth. Dogs don't have a good end. I patted him and said earnestly. Let's encourage each other. As a result, until we got the divorce certificate and came out, Adrian's face didn't look good. Finally done. It took so long. Are there many people? Daphne held his arm and asked. Not bad. At this time, Adrian's cell phone rang. He answered it and his face changed drastically. Evelyn. He suddenly grabbed me. You made the entire design team resign? Yes. Why? Why is General Manager Adrian so nervous? I smiled. Didn't General Manager Adrian build up the Adrian family through hard work? What impact can the loss of a design team have? We were husband and wife after all. How can you kick down the ladder after crossing the river? Adrian, don't be angry. Aren't I also a design major? It's just a design team. I'll form another one for you. Daphne comforted him. But unexpectedly, he brushed Daphne's hand away. Evelyn, did you do this on purpose? The autumn new product launch is about to take place. At this time? It's really noisy. It's not a big deal. I ignored him and looked at the roadside. Here. I waved my arm not far away. Elias, here. A Bugatti stopped in front of me. Elias wearing sunglasses got out of the CR. Is it done? Yeah. Adrian was shocked. Elias, why are you here? Elias glanced at him. To pick up my fiancée. Fiancée? He was stunned and looked at me. Her? Elias pulled me into his arms. General Manager Adrian, please address me as Elias from now on. You too. Evelyn, how can you? Seemingly angered, he suddenly started coughing violently. Daphne quickly supported him and comforted him. Elias and I looked at each other and got into the Bugatti. They seem to be very angry with you. Is it because of the resignation of the design team? I nodded. There is another thing. When he knows it, he will probably spit blood later. What thing? I sighed. Before the design team left, I asked them to water and kill his favorite money tree placed at the door. The news that Elias and I were going to get married quickly spread. Unexpectedly, the ones who reacted most strongly were actually the parents. You can divorce if you want. Why marry Adrian's rival? Come back quickly and kneel down and apologize to Adrian. We don't have a daughter like you in our family. If you don't come back, we will sever ties with you. So, as they wished, I brought the letter severing the parent-child relationship and went to their door, followed by bodyguards sent by Elias. As long as you sign here, we will completely sever the parent-child relationship. Anyway, in fact, they are not my real parents. Evelyn's mother covered her chest and kept shouting that it was a sin. Evelyn's father was furious and signed the letter. You think marrying that Elias will make you proud? He is just the illegitimate child of the Elias family. When you are bullied and driven out, our family will not let you in. Mom is a traitor in the family. Leo suddenly took a gun and rushed out and shot at me. I ignored him and motioned for the bodyguard to take away his toy gun and throw it aside. Then I turned and left. He wailed loudly behind me. On my wedding day, I wore my favorite fishtail skirt. Before going on stage, Elias asked me what I was thinking. I said, in the past, I sincerely wanted to be good to everyone. But now I understand that it's happier to please myself. Elias nodded. When encountering disgusting people, just don't treat them as human beings. After all, what they do is not human behavior. I deeply agreed and felt like I had found a kindred spirit. The wedding was very grand, magnificent, and happy. Except that in the middle of the night on that day, when I was so tired that I had fallen asleep, I was awakened by a phone call. Evelyn, I don't understand. Where am I worse than Elias? On the other end of the phone was drunk Adrian. You can choose anyone but Elias. What is he? He is far worse than me, Adrian. I hung up the phone expressionlessly. And when I saw Adrian again, it was at a business reception. I was holding Elias's arm, and he was holding Daphne's hand. Originally, it was such a harmonious scene, but he deliberately came to pick a fight. In fact, I have always wanted to ask General Manager Elias what means he used to deceive Evelyn. Elias smiled. General Manager Adrian is joking. We are legally married. I don't know if it was the word legal or married couple. It seemed to break his defense again. He actually said regardless of the occasion, then General Manager Elias should know how affectionate we were in the past 5 years and that we have a lovely son, right? Didn't General Manager Adrian lose his memory? How can he remember being affectionate? Elias smiled. If Evelyn was really happy with you, why would she divorce you immediately when you lost your memory? You. He was so angry that he clenched his fist. She was very happy with me. How do you know I was happy? Didn't you lose your memory? I was a little impatient and tilted my neck. Coincidentally, a small red mark was just exposed. After all, last night, because someone was so energetic, I didn't get much sleep. As a result, when Adrian saw it, his eyes immediately turned red. Tired? Go back? Elias asked me. Yeah, Evelyn. You have been deceived by him, you know? General Manager Adrian, I turned around and said coldly, we are not that familiar. Please still address me as Elias. After saying that, I turned and left. But at this moment, Adrian suddenly ignored Daphne's dissuasion and rushed up and waved his fist at Elias. "Elias, you stole my wife. I'll kill you." The crowd was in an uproar and immediately formed a circle around the two of them. Of course, his soft fist was immediately caught by Elias. He twisted his fist like a pretzel. Amid his "ow" cries, I heard Elias's laughing voice. "General Manager Adrian, instead of shouting here like a romantic male lead, it's better to care about the survival of the Adrian family. I think Elias is really a good person." At this time, he still didn't forget to remind his opponent. After the farce ended, Elias and I drove home. I was drowsy. He hesitated to speak. "Tonight." "No way tonight." I firmly refused. I said we can discuss the plan for the autumn launch tonight. "Work? Then it's fine." I immediately became energetic. Yes, although Elias and I are a bit like a contractual marriage, but as adults, we don't act coyly and sleep in separate beds. We haven't missed doing what couples should do every day. In short, we focus on not being internally consumed and happily live together. After the reception, I didn't see Adrian for a long time. 3 months later, the autumn launch was a great success. For the first time, the market share of Elias family jewelry in that month exceeded that of the Adrian family. In that month, the Adrian family suddenly launched the Loving Heart new series, with Daphne, the new chief designer, as the chief designer. As soon as the Loving Heart series was launched, it was highly praised. Daphne was even interviewed on TV. In front of the camera, she talked eloquently. The Loving Heart series is derived from my understanding of love. Its design concept is that two hearts are closely connected. When I saw it, wasn't this the design draft I casually made for a small foreign jeweler before I married Adrian? Where did she dig it out from? I called that small jeweler. The other party was greatly shocked and immediately started the rights protection process. A month later, the entire Loving Heart series was taken off the shelves, and the Adrian family was involved in an infringement lawsuit. Elias was very kind and lent his most capable lawyer to that jeweler. At this time, I received a call from Evelyn's father and Evelyn's mother. "Your sister has been seriously harmed by your old draft. Why did you give her that draft?" I was puzzled. "You come and testify in court quickly and say that you gave the draft to your sister on your own." I hung up the phone immediately and put them on the blacklist. After this incident, the Adrian family was greatly weakened. I heard that Adrian was particularly angry about Daphne's plagiarism. The two fell into a cold war. Perhaps because of a sense of insecurity. At a business dinner, when Daphne took advantage of Adrian being drunk and sent him back to the room, she wanted to have a relationship and get pregnant. In order not to be disturbed by Leo, she casually gave Adrian's cell phone to Leo to play with. Who knew that Leo had the password to the phone? In order to play the pretend president game, he opened the company's video conference. He directly broadcasted the process of how she drugged Adrian and how hard she tried to seduce him. This video quickly spread on the internet and became a curiosity and a topic of conversation after meals. After waking up, Adrian and Daphne had a big fight and cut off all business dealings with the Evelyn family. In the following days, Elias and I had better and better understanding. Sometimes when I looked up halfway through making a drawing, he would know that I wanted to drink water. Under the joint pressure of Elias and me, the Adrian family soon declined. The core design team left, and other departments were also in disarray. They lost several big orders. Another year, at the spring new product launch, as the chief designer of the Elias family, I went on stage to introduce my design concept. This time, the theme is pleasing oneself. People will always pursue what they like. But we believe that when girls wear jewelry, more importantly, it should make themselves happy. So, we hope that every girl who wears Elias family jewelry loves herself first. Never waste time on unworthy people or things. And always believe that you deserve better. Just like myself. I once doubted, was confused, and suffered. But after I remarried, my husband treats me very well and I am very happy. I also hope that every girl can bravely move forward and seek her own happiness. The launch was very successful, and the sales volume that night hit a new high. In the evening, I was holding a glass of red wine and closing my eyes to rest. Suddenly, I was picked up by Elias back. I yawned. Yeah. I opened my eyes and met his burning gaze. The launch went well. He tapped the tip of my nose. That's for sure. After remarrying, your husband treats you very well and you are very happy? I gave him a look. What? Can't I praise you? He laughed softly. Today, I suddenly feel, he sat me on his lap. You seem too dazzling. I kind of want to lock you up so that only I can see you. What should I do? The long silent system popped up at this time. You see. I said he is a sickly beauty. He will want to imprison you and possess you alone. You won't be happy following him. I used points to silence him again. I have the same intention towards you. I reached out and took off his tie and wrapped it around his hand in circles. System, how come I didn't find such a man in my previous life? Dangerous and charming, honest and passionate. In any way, he is more fun than Adrian. Just as I was thinking, the tie in my hand was suddenly taken away. Huh? When did he untie it? You are really disobedient. He raised his hand, covered my eyes with a tie, and a kiss gently fell on my earlobe. But I like it. The performance of the Adrian family has plummeted. Daphne began to write short essays on the internet, crying about Adrian's fickleness and abandonment. Adrian accused Daphne of deliberately seducing him after divorce, destroying his marriage and his reputation. The two quarreled endlessly on social media. And Evelyn's father and Evelyn's mother, because the Evelyn family went bankrupt, even more firmly blamed Adrian. They went to the Adrian family every day, saying that Adrian had destroyed Daphne's marriage and now was not responsible for Daphne. Adrian was extremely harassed. In order to avoid Daphne and them, he jumped from the second-floor rooftop and accidentally broke his leg. That night, I was drowsily asleep when I received a strange call. The person on the other end of the phone seemed to be drunk and kept saying to me, Evelyn, I actually remember everything. I regret it. I really regret it. Elias was awakened by the phone. Who called? I hung up the phone. A harassing call. A few days later, another call came. It was from Evelyn's mother. Evelyn, it's almost your birthday. Mom and Dad have made delicious dishes for you. Come back and let's celebrate as a family. By the way, you can bring Elias along. I replied calmly, Auntie, do I need to send you the letter severing the parent-child relationship again? Then, I hung up the phone. Elias looked at me. You've had a lot of harassing calls recently. I sighed and put this number on the blacklist again. And one day, when Elias and I passed by the kindergarten where Leo was, we found that he was actually being bullied by several older children. Oh, isn't this the rich Leo before? Why are you picking up trash? Leo wailed loudly. My mom is very rich. She married a rich man. Don't underestimate me. I'll ask my mom to beat you. Should we take care of it? Elias asked me. I shook my head. Let's go. The jewelry business of the Elias family is gradually growing bigger and bigger. Suddenly one day, a colleague from the public relations department said that there was a live streaming room selling counterfeit goods under the guise of Elias family jewelry. Just when I was wondering who was so bold, I found that the manager of the live streaming room was actually Daphne, and the anchor was Evelyn's father and Evelyn's mother. We are the parents of Evelyn, the chief designer of Elias family jewelry. They swindled people by showing my childhood photos, so we can give our family members internal prices. Elias asked me how I wanted to deal with it. Go directly through legal procedures. Pay compensation as required. Sentence if necessary. Never settle. The live streaming room was immediately closed and the lawyer also filed a lawsuit. Evelyn, how can you treat your parents like this? Where is your conscience? A few days later, Evelyn's father and Evelyn's mother brought Daphne to the gate of the Elias family to make trouble. I was too lazy to deal with it and directly called the police. Later, the three were detained for creating a disturbance. And waiting for them were lawsuits and compensations. On this day, I got a bottle of good red wine and returned home before Elias. What are you doing hiding in the closet? The system asked in confusion. Just for fun. To give him a surprise. I gently closed the closet door. You two are playing too much. You weren't like this girl before. The system snorted. If you say one more useless word, I'll silence you. Points are not used like this. It protested. Get lost. Just at this moment, Elias came back. I quickly stopped talking and secretly watched him through the crack of the door. I saw him take off his cufflinks, take off his tie, and stand in front of the floor-to-ceiling window with his back to me. What's wrong? Are you stunned just by looking at him like this? Do you like him so much? The system tooted beside me. Just as I was about to tell it to shut up, I suddenly heard Elias seem to be talking. I was stunned immediately. Because what he said was, "System, am I about to succeed soon?" I was stunned in place. I couldn't hear the answer from Elias's system, but from his words, I could know that Elias is also a conqueror. However, the judgment of his successful conquest is to defeat the Adrian family, the competitor of the Elias family, and make it go bankrupt. System, did you already know that he is also a conqueror, so you didn't let me conquer him? The system hemmed and hawed and didn't answer. No wonder. In the original setting, Elias and I are roughly in a zero-sum game to a certain extent. If I succeed in conquering Adrian and live a happy life with him, with husband and wife working together, the Adrian family will probably not fall with my help. Similarly, if Elias topples the Adrian family, with Adrian's proud character, it is impossible to live a poor life with me properly. My conquest will probably end in failure. But now, I suddenly opened the closet door. Evelyn? Elias immediately turned around. You, meeting his slightly surprised gaze, I smiled and raised the red wine in my hand. I heard it all. Congratulations on your successful conquest. Let me explain, he was suddenly a little flustered. It doesn't matter, because I am too. What? He was stunned. I smiled. Tonight, we should be able to talk for a long time. Elias said that in his original world, his mother was framed and forced to divorce. In order to let him get the best education, she took many jobs and died prematurely due to overwork. When he grew up, he returned to the Elias family and fought for power with his half-brother. Eventually, he defeated everyone and became the head of the Elias family and sent his stepmother who framed his mother to prison. But he also fell into a coma due to overwork. Probably sensing my strong unwillingness, the system came to ask me if I was willing to come to this world as a conqueror. He turned his head and was stunned. Evelyn, why are you crying? I shook my head. Nothing. I just thought of my mother in my original world. Coincidentally, I also come from a single-parent family. When I was young, my mother also sacrificed a lot for me. Later, when she met a suitor, I didn't want her to give up happiness because of me, so I left her on my own initiative. I haven't contacted her for a long time. She should be very happy now. I wiped away my tears. Elias put down his wine glass and hugged me. She must be very happy to have you as her daughter. At this time, Elias's cell phone suddenly received a message. The Adrian family officially declared bankruptcy. Elias has succeeded in his conquest. System, you know? Now I don't want to beg for love from anyone anymore. I said like this. The system expressed great confusion. What if you tell him? Maybe it can increase the probability. I shook my head. System, you know? Now I don't want to beg for love from anyone anymore. A few days later, Elias's system urged him to claim the reward and return to his original world. He came to discuss with me. I agree. I nodded. You have been here for so long. If you don't go back soon, be careful that the empire you built with your life is about to change hands. I'm a little worried about you. He looked at me and said. What's there to worry about? I shrugged. You have given me such a big company. I can't spend all the money in my life here. I'm too happy to be happy. Is this really what you want? I nodded. Yes, very sure. So, he transferred the company to me and bought a plane ticket abroad. On the day he left, it was drizzling. I didn't go to see him off. As soon as he leaves, you will completely declare the conquest a failure. The system said in my ear. Yeah. You see, I told you not to choose him. There will be no good end. But you just don't listen. I smiled. System, do you know? This period of time is the most enjoyable time I have had in this world. Don't need to be a dog for others, and don't need others to like me. I can be myself if I want. I never wrong myself. If I want to take revenge, I take revenge. If I want to enjoy, I enjoy. I think it's quite worth it. The system sighed. Actually, I secretly checked the data. For you with Elias, you are just a little short. I can apply for you and see if you can stay in this world. But it definitely needs to change your identity. Wealth and other things definitely cannot be retained. Okay, thank you. Looking up, the rain got heavier. I didn't bring an umbrella again. Forget it. Getting wet is not bad either. Anyway, there is not much time left. I just sat on the bench in the park, looked up, closed my eyes, and let the rain flow down my hair. Suddenly, an umbrella blocked over my head. I opened my eyes. The man who should have been on the plane was standing in front of me with an umbrella. I looked at him in a daze. Why are you? I found it was raining before boarding. I was afraid that you might go out without an umbrella, so I came back. He squatted down with the umbrella. Look, as I expected. I just like getting wet in the rain, I said stubbornly. Won't you miss your flight? Who knew that his eyes darkened? Evelyn, what I said before that I only want you to be mine is not just for fun. He sat down beside me and sighed. Today, when I look at this rain, just thinking that in such weather, there will be another person holding an umbrella for you makes me want to kill that person. So, he touched my head. I'd better stay and watch over you. I was stunned. What are you talking about? In the original world, the things you got with your life, your career, are you giving them up? Yeah, he nodded. I'm giving them up. Those things, now that I think about it, don't seem so important. Compared to those, I'm still happier to see you. You must be crazy. I was always a lunatic, his hand gently stroked my cheek. So, are you willing to stay with this lunatic? Snap. The street lamp suddenly went out. In the darkness, a cool kiss pressed against my lips. My body was tightly embraced. And at this moment, a strange voice suddenly came from above. Congratulations, host. You have successfully conquered the villainous sickly beauty. Both Elias and I can go home. We handed over the Elias family to his younger brother who had just returned to this world and got on the plane abroad together. On the last day in this world, we hugged each other in the snow and watched the magnificent aurora in the distance. As a meteor slid down, a familiar voice came out from the aurora. I am the main god of the system. Congratulations to the two conquerors. Next, I will activate the space-time tunnel and send the two of you back to the original world and get healthy bodies. And Evelyn, because you chose a conqueror as your target of conquest, the difficulty is doubled. After success, you can get additional rich bonus points reward. What do you want to exchange? Main god, I looked up at the sky. I always have a question. You say? The day I was reborn, I once heard your voice say that I was reborn because I achieved the marriage achievement in the middle and exchanged effective points. But at that time, I should not have had any points. I want to know, where did the points that let me be reborn come from? The main god of the system seemed to be silent for a while. It's your mother in the original world, after a while, it said. In fact, not long after you fell into a coma, your mother has been accompanying you in the hospital. When your original body was about to be erased in this world, there was also acute failure. Your mother dreamed of your failure in conquest and knelt down and prayed to exchange her 10 years of life for another chance for you. My tears almost gushed out all at once. It's Mom. It's actually Mom. It's Mom who has always loved me and never given up on me. Then can I exchange all these points for my mother's life? I said in a choked voice. Of course you can. A total of X years of life can be added. Elias on the side hugged me tightly as I cried nonstop. Evelyn, let's go home. Let's go home and see Mom. That night, the aurora was bright. Elias and I held hands and went home together. Doctor. Doctor. Come quickly. My daughter moved. Moved. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying on a hospital bed. Beside me was my mother who had been guarding me all the time. Evelyn, it's Mom. Mom is always here. Mom. I raised my hand, held her rough palm, and said with a slight smile, I'm back. She nodded desperately and tears kept flowing down. Next, there was a series of examinations. What a miracle. It's really a miracle. There is nothing wrong with the body at all. The doctor sighed in amazement. The little nurse on the side secretly smiled and said, I said our hospital has good feng shui. The Elias general manager in that ward also woke up just now. Is it the richest man in our city? Isn't it? It was said before that there was no hope and he was kept alive by a ventilator. Suddenly he got better. As soon as he woke up, it seems that his mind is not very clear. I heard that he asked the Elias family to find a person named Evelyn for him all over the city immediately. I don't know if it's an enemy or something. What did you say? Who is looking for whom? I said in a daze. Miss Evelyn, your name also matches the pronunciation. The little nurse came over and said with a smile, that general manager Elias is said to be very terrifying. Don't be caught by mistake. Where is the ward? I anxiously grabbed the nurse's arm. X floor. I immediately jumped out of bed. Oh. Miss Evelyn, your shoes. I took the elevator and rushed to the X floor. At the end of the corridor was the ward. I pushed the door open all at once. There were many people in the room, but none of them were Elias. On the hospital bed not far away, there was no one. This lady, who are you? Someone came up and asked. I may have found the wrong place. She is Evelyn. A familiar voice suddenly appeared behind me. I suddenly turned around. He was standing behind me, wearing a hospital gown. He was a little thinner than before, but still handsome. The two looked at each other and smiled. He approached and hugged me tightly. Evelyn. He said in my ear, for the wedding dress here, do you still want a fishtail skirt?